It is up, everyone. This is Captain Eon speaking, and I would like to share from chapter 4, verses 34 to 36, on the idea of a return to reason. Let me make it personal again. What has been described as the most wonderful time of year has just ended. And I've seen bumper stickers and posts and things of that nature, seeking to serve as a reminder of the true reason for the season, quote unquote. However, in my opinion, it seems that reasoning in general is being gotten away from in all things, not just what it means to give, what it is to love, and some other things, or countless other things, in my opinion. And in my own life, as I have gotten away from the true reason of things and for doing things, I find it difficult in a lot of ways to find my way back. And so the question arose on how to make this return back to the place of proper reason. The first part of today's treatment that really stood out to me was how the effects of unreasonable behavior can first affect others because of Nebuchadnezzar's veering away from the true reason why he had been set as king over Babylon. Was because God put him there to ultimately refine his people. But he had become so prideful that he decided to become a lowercase God, or make himself out to be. And ultimately, he set up this image and wanted to be worshipped. Those that knew the truth decided not to. And he became furious, which indicated to me that that was a sign of being unreasonable, fury, unjust anger. And in this fury, he decided to do away with them. However, his becoming unreasonable ended up costing the men who tied the Hebrew young men up it cost them their lives. Because being unreasonable, there was a hurriedness to do away with them, and a need and want to turn the heat up to an unreasonable level. And these factors caused the fire to consume the men who were just following orders. I don't believe they probably had anything against the Hebrew gentlemen, but because they were just following the orders of an unreasonable person, it cost them their lives. So this, for me, was an indication that, a return to reason is necessary, because it first negatively impacts and begins to destroy innocence. The second part I realized was that sometimes God has to take drastic measures. It starts on the peripheral and it works its way in. The signs that God was giving weren't enough. Now, what I realized also was that after God had delivered the Hebrew young men from the fury of King Nebuchadnezzar, he acknowledged the power of God, so much so that he set up a decree that no one is to talk bad about this God. He is to be revered. And what really stuck out to me was the fact that although he acknowledged the greatness of God, the power of God, the glory of God, he was still in a state of unreasonability, or he couldn't be reasoned with. And that was very powerful to me, that it's so very easy to find a reason for me to believe that, yeah, everything's okay because, I talk to God, or I study his word, or I'm doing this and I did this and I'm this way. But yet and still, at the core, I could still be unreasonable. So again, the question is, how do I return and stay in a place of reason without, and I would say the question is, without God having to bring me back to this place? Because King Nebuchadnezzar had gotten so far off from where God wanted him to be that he had to cause him to be beast-minded, to become very basic, to be stripped away of everything in order to have him understand, or in his words, be restored back to reason. And I believe I've experienced these extremes in my life and really don't want to have God take me to that point. But I'm willing to say, Lord, the desire that you've given me, the desire you have for me to be in the proper place in you is so strong that you would go to any measure, any length to keep me there. So instead of me giving God a reason, my hope and desire is that I will be able to use the signs and the cues before that to keep myself in the place of reason. And ultimately, the place that I realize of reason, or the reason, the true reason, is for us to give God praise. Not just, there I go again, is for me to give him praise. Not just to acknowledge him for his greatness. While that has its place, but as you can see, as I see, when God restored King Nebuchadnezzar back, he had this spirit and heart of praise. He returned back to the reason for everything he had been given, and that was to truly praise God. And so that for me is the reason. The reason is to be not just a person that acknowledges him, but to actually be an offering, a continual offering of praise. Caption this: more Christ every day is the reason for every season.